going to take an unforgettable journey. Viewer discretion is advised. The incredible Singh.
Sat Sri Akal Ji. This is the one, the only, the incredible Singh. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 74. This show is about things that affect us because everything affects us differently. I hope I can deliver some insight, enlighten you in a positive way, and help you get motivated for life. Being healthy and fit has become a big part of my life, so I'll share tips with you that I continuously attempt to follow. Now I got to talk about a couple of different things here. It's going to be a little bit more talk, I think, maybe. Big shout out to Kevin Hart. He was unfortunately in a major car accident, and that was back on September the 1st. So it's been a little bit of time. So hopefully he gets better soon. He's funny as hell to me, so it's very, very entertaining. But more importantly for his family, I hope he gets better soon. So big shout out to Kevin Hart. Hopefully you get better. This show, I'm going to be talking about racism, hate crimes, stereotypes, and other things that are sensitive topics in today's world. When it comes to attempting to be funny or doing something unintentionally, then people are quite sensitive and unforgiving. And social media is one of the biggest culprits to dramatize, exaggerate these type of feelings and whatnot. And especially with you don't get a full explanation. You're getting these small little snippets of how people are saying something, and the intention is how it's perceived is very different amongst different people. So I'm going to talk about that. And also my favorite part of the show is my favorite top 3 songs. They are sung by Jasmine Sandless, Prabh, Gill, and PropheC this week. So I'll talk about that a little bit later on. So who is going to be this week's song in 60 seconds? You'll have to stay tuned to find out about that. But let's start off with last week's song in 60 seconds, and that's by Bohemia, Sidhu Moosewala. Here we go with Same Beef on the Incredible Livecast. So I'm going to try this new little intro thing. Hopefully I come up with something pretty exciting to make it sound cool. The incredible health tip of the week. Your dirtiest foot forward. What the heck does that mean? If your ankles, your knees, hips, and all that starts aching from running on pavement, then definitely head out for the dirt. The softer trails or the graded roads are a lot easier on your joints than the hard stuff. And also, the dirt surfaces tend to be a little bit more uneven. It kind of forces you to slow down a bit and focus on where you put your feet. So it's definitely great for agility and concentration. As the colder and rainier months are coming in, then maybe you don't want to go outside. You can be on the treadmill. Treadmill is actually pretty good because it's going to give you that continuous motion. It's going to give you a softer sort of press here. But let's get back to the music here. We're going to play Gitaz Bindrakhia, Yaari versus Dollar. Alright guys, let's talk about a hot topic here. Justin Trudeau has been ridiculed, I guess, is probably the easiest thing to say, in social media with his blackface paint. Apparently he's done it a few times in his life. People are upset about it. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, he wasn't trying to portray a black guy. He was trying to play at a costume party, trying to portray himself as Aladdin. So, for whatever reason, he decided to do this. Other people have done this in the past as well. And, it's a matter of, are people being a little bit too sensitive now? Or, is it just or is it fair to say, you shouldn't be doing that? You don't really see other ethnicities in general painting themselves white or painting themselves black or painting themselves some other color, skin color that is, to portray a different race, I guess you can say. You know what I'm saying? Like normally if you're going to dress up as like, I don't know, like whatever you're going to dress up as. You're going to dress up as a president, right? You have a mask on. Instead of putting face paint, right? Things like that. Like I can't really come up with any real examples here because There's not a lot of, like, that's not like a common thing. But the question is, are people being too sensitive? Maybe not. That's a hard one, right? Because that's the Prime Minister of Canada. This is something he's done a long time ago, and I think in general he's kind of made up for his ignorance in terms of that. How I personally feel, honestly, I still till this day, it's a little bit hard for me to say, whether I feel he shouldn't have done it, or if I agree or disagree with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of like on the fence, right? I don't know whether I should be offended or not. And he said sorry about it. It's happened a long time ago. With the federal election coming up, people are coming up with all these different things, all these different scenarios of how he is and who the type of person he is. I mean, he's definitely shown his colors, so to speak, with everything that he's done. Actually, I did come up with an example here. So what if I dressed up as Prince Charming? I put on the white face paint and put on cheek colors and whatever, right? Like, would people be upset? Would people get offended with the fact that I dress up as Prince Charming, put the face paint on and things like that, make myself look like a white guy? Like, I'm fair enough, I mean, in terms of my shakal, my complexion. But at the same time, would people be offended? Probably not. Like, because I think it goes a little bit further. It's a little bit deeper rooted with the black culture and coloring your skin a darker color. And I think making your skin tone a lighter color generally is a little bit more accepted, because women do it all the time. So these darker skinned women, they put on makeup to make themselves look a little bit lighter and whatnot, right? So I think it wouldn't be as frowned upon as one would really think, in my personal opinion. Same thing, Michael Jackson, very, very huge, very, very popular. Obviously, you guys know who he is, or was, I guess I should say. But he put on makeup. I mean, it wasn't that he was ridiculed, but it wasn't that you're being racist type of a thing, right? It wasn't portrayed as that, or perceived as that. It was just, he's putting lighter makeup on, he's covering up the darker skin patches that he had. Unfortunately, he had I forgot what the name of that skin disorder is. But anyway, so he's covering up that. The issue, if you don't already know, it's the film industry that started this way, way, way back. That caused sort of the uproar with regards to coloring yourself black. So basically, white people were acting in these shows. They were putting on face paint, a black color, coloring themselves black, and they were showing themselves as very low forms of society in these shows. So it made them look like they're stupid, and made them look really inferior to the white man. It was that 100%. I agree. Definitely very racist and not really cool on that. So that's where, I understand, if you're trying to be a black person or whatever, right? Like if somebody dressed up as LeBron James, for example, right? You're trying to be a black guy, a basketball player. So you put on stilts, you put on the black face paint, you put on the headband and all that sort of stuff. It's Halloween. Are people going to get offended? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to see that type of action anymore. It seems to be this whole Aladdin thing. Like, I don't understand why guys specifically want to color the skin the way that they do. Oddly enough, I set up a Bollywood-themed birthday party for a family in Vancouver. I think it was like a 40th birthday or something like that. I can't remember what it was specifically. But we went to the house. House is absolutely stunning. It's huge. It's got a basketball court in their backyard. And with the whole Bollywood theme, that's exactly what happened, right? All the women were dressed up in Indian saris, Indian suits, and things like that. They all went out. They had tons of money, right? So they actually all went out. They bought suits and saris and all this stuff, all the makeup, all the decoration. The guys, they're wearing achkins and all that. And one guy out of the entire party decided to dress up as Aladdin. So he had the turban on, he had the whole dress the way he was in a Disney movie, and then he had the black face paint. well, me and my partner for the entertainment company, we were kind of looking at him like, okay, should we be offended? Should we not be offended? This is technically a costume party or a Bollywood themed party, so is it really bad? Is that like too much type of thing? But then, you know, when we looked at the overall picture, okay, well, technically it's not really being offensive. Not the intention is not to be offensive, is trying to blend in terms of the theme of the party. So we kind of left it. We didn't say anything, but we definitely left a little bit of a weird taste in our mouth after the fact. So I don't know what it is. It's this whole, white guys in Aladdin. You got to dress up like, you got to put the face paint on and everything. I'm not sure what that's about. So it's definitely not really a common thing. But, hopefully that changes and it doesn't happen at all anymore. You don't see at all these different parties, all these different events. There's only one guy that ends up doing it. I don't know if it's ignorance or whatever it is or, whatnot, right? So that's sort of that on that side of thing. Now, speaking about brown-colored people, let's talk about Lily Singh. She's got her new show called A Little Late with Lily. I watched the first week of episodes. I posted on it on my last episode on number 73. I mentioned that in a tweet as well. That it's definitely very positive for the women of the world that they have a spot at the late night time slot. So pretty fantastic there. But the response that I got was pretty interesting. Normally I don't get really too many comments. You guys know that. You guys follow me. You don't comment very often, which is okay. I'd like to hear from you guys what your thoughts are. But yeah, anyway, so I got a comment. So I played with it. It was a white female that insisted that Lily is racist, unamusing, and offensive. So I kind of played along with it, like kind of playing like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about type of thing. So what I said was, against whom? So her response was actually in the form of a question whether or not I actually watched the show or not. But I also responded saying that, well, if NBC supported a bisexual woman of color who happens to be racist, oh, by the way, and racist is spelled with a C, for those of you that don't know about that. But why would NBC support someone that is blatantly racist? So that's my thing here, right? Lily Singh's trying to be a comedian. She's trying to set the tone in terms of her new show and what it is for women of color. She's been hit with racism left, right, and center. So she turned around and hit it against the white businessman or the white rich man or whatever you want to call it. And specifically tying it to the middle white America, I think it was that she was saying in her comments with the jokes, but also she was saying it with regards to the male white dominance with regards to this time slot in the TV shows for the last like 15-20 years, whatever that time frame was. The tweets ended up with statements of not supporting her from the other person, which is fine. That's sort of just where it was at that. And just when I thought the conversation was over, she sent another tweet of a video link of some guy basically trying to depict what's wrong with Lily's first show. I tried watching it, honestly. I tried watching it. It's a 15-minute video. I got through about 6 minutes where the guy kept repeating himself, cut back and forth to a clip of the show and back to what he was saying, but he actually didn't actually say anything at all. He's just like, what about this, and how she's saying it like this, and how she's saying like this. It's like, dude, get to the point. So anyway, I stopped watching it. I couldn't go back to continue watching that. So I just thought to myself, I'm just going to leave it because everyone is entitled to their own opinion, right? You have your choice of whether you want to enjoy it and take it for what it is as supposed to be a comedic piece, or you can be offended. It's really up to you. So this person clearly wants to feel offended and offend like that's offensive and this and that. But I've got to say a big shout out to that person who did actually say something. So I definitely enjoyed the back and forth on the topic there. I mean, obviously it wasn't that in depth. We couldn't really get into that in too much of a deep sort of a conversation. It's Twitter, man. Like, you get 140 characters. Like, what are you going to have a conversation on that? if it's going to be a thing, let's talk about it through email. We can send a proper message back and forth. Anyways, so that's that. The point of this whole thing is that with more people in the world in general, the world is getting more and more populated. There's more social media access, more people have different feelings and things like that. There's more ability to connect online with random people who are for or against your cause. And people make educated decisions about their next moves and how you portray cultures and ethnicities. So I'm hoping that whatever you decide to do, stick to it, do what you got to do. I'm in favor of what she's talking about. I mean, like I said in my last show, right? In general, these type of shows don't really intrigue me that much. A lot of the jokes and a lot of the stuff kind of goes over my head because I just don't pay attention to some of the topics that they have. So what's your take on it? Should Justin Trudeau be Prime Minister? Should Jagmeet Singh be Prime Minister because of what has happened in recent light? Honestly, I don't know. I haven't figured out which way I'm going to go, but definitely put in your vote because every single vote matters. The next thing is, what are your thoughts about Lily Singh? She's done a week of shows now. What are your thoughts about her? Let me know. theincrediblesing@hotmail.com. Let's play some music here with Lily Singh, Superwoman, and Jassi Sidhu, Hipshaker, right here on the Incredible Livecast. Incredible fitness tip of the week. 2 pounds at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with your ideal goal weight. When you are down 2 pounds, let yourself feel proud and then think about the next 2. I'm the Incredible Singh. Let's play the next track by Gill called True Talk. Oh mein kya ji kida? This is the one, the only, the Incredible Singh. Let's talk about my favorite part of the show. The top 3 that I picked this week go to Jasmine Sandless and Ranbir Grewal for Chunni Black. That's the first song that I picked because this is a Senti style song that I thought was pretty cool. A little bit more because my wife liked it too, but still, it's still part of the whole family thing. It's nice. It's a nice hookup song that you can definitely get really close with your partner with. So I thought that was actually really cool. That's one of the reasons why I made the cut. Obviously, the second reason, like I said a few seconds ago. But definitely, I'll play a clip of that. Let me know what you think about that song. Second song is by Prabh, Gill, and Sweetaj Barar called Love You Away. Probably one of the best Jindamahi songs that's been redone with its own flair, creating more of a romantic vibe instead of a dance or a chill-like vibe compared to the other songs that have been done in the past. The beat is super catchy and it keeps bumping all the way through. Now the third song is by the PropheC, Tuhiya. Absolutely stunning. This guy is absolutely fantastic, and I've said it time and time again. Every time he puts stuff out, it seems better and better than the stuff he's put out in the past, so I'm really enjoying his stuff. The pictures in the video are off the charts with the backdrops, and I love how they shot PropheC and the model on the car while in motion. Like I said, he keeps delivering fresh music and lyrics. They were done in collaboration with Amar Rahman, and I'm definitely a huge fan of him as well. So let's play each of these tracks here. Honestly, I could go any way with these songs, and oddly enough, I actually got my daughter to help me out to help me pick out my favorite song here. So I'll tell you what it is on the other side. Yo, this is the one, the only, the Incredible Singh, and this week's song in 60 seconds goes to Prabh, Gill, and Sweetaj Barar for Love You Away. And the reason why I picked this song, actually, I had to get my daughter's help on this one as well. We decided this is the best song this week because of Prabh Gill's beautiful voice. He definitely brings out the romantic Indian touch to make this track a timeless gem. And Sweetaj Barar definitely adds a passionate element to make this piece work for me. actress Mahira Sharma does such an amazing job to bring True Maker's vision come to life. Probably my most favorite scene out of the whole thing is when they're on the airplane wing. I thought that was actually really well done. I'm definitely loving the Jin Mahi romantic remake from start to end. And I really think this is going to be one of those timeless classics for me, for sure. And that's why Love You Oi is this week's Song in 60 Seconds. There's a specific quote by Judy Garland. She says, "Always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of somebody else." In other words, she's really saying don't be a second-rate jerk. I'm the Incredible Singh. Let's play the next track from the Control Station by PBN and Raj Bains, Tori Tori. Alright guys, there's a lot of controversy surrounding the artists in September these days, and it's all around social media. So let's talk about Sidhu Moosewala first. He's been ridiculed on social media for the lyrics in a song that is an unfinished piece and has created a wild ride within the Sikh community. The song is titled Jatjian Morwari from the upcoming film called Ardab Mutiara, and it has something to do with the Karda and Mai Bagoji. So I actually didn't even know who these Mai Bagoji is, but I totally missed the leak. I didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden, I'm like seeing people like posting that they're so upset with Sidhu Moosewala, and then the leak has been covered up and this and that. Like I didn't know what was going on, so I think I could do a little bit of a bit of a deep dive to see the post and see what exactly was going on and what was all about. So luckily I found a post by dailyentexpress.com about the whole thing, and I've understood what was going on. Moosewala, since then he's apologized for what he said in the song, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be making an amendment. I have to think about this one for a second here, because honestly, anybody in our generation or those who don't really follow Sikhism that much, like myself, like I don't really follow that type of thing very hard or very closely. So it's really interesting to me to learn about Mai Bagoji as a female martyr from this whole thing. The avid followers, like I said, would know a little bit, but the rest of us, similar to myself, wouldn't really have much of a clue. So now I know about who she is and what she did and how important she is to Sikhism and whatnot, right? So, whatever he said, obviously it was controversial, and what he was saying and how it was portrayed or whatever. So he's apologized. Okay, so that's it. Like, move on, right? Like we can move on from that. Are they really being sensitive about it, or are they just straight up just saying, hey, like what you said really wasn't the greatest thing you should have said? So it's hard for me to say. Like, the understanding on that level is really hard for me to say, but I can definitely say this. If it offends somebody, especially in the Sikh community, then you definitely want to apologize, and that's exactly what he did. So it's good to hear about that. But that kind of blew up on social media. I think it's still going on here and there now. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is Gitaz Man. Of all people, would you think that he would be all over blasted on social media for some of the things that he said at the Vancouver concert on September the 21st? That's a couple of days ago. Already Twitter and social media is all blown up, like, oh, Gitaz Man, this, that, the other. But honestly, I wasn't at the show. I ended up at a birthday party that day. Happy birthday, Manmeet, if you're listening to the show, by the way. The uproar, you guys, I don't know if you're going to laugh or agree with me or disagree with me, but the uproar is about what he's saying about learning Punjabi versus other languages. So I guess people are not happy with the fact that he's not talking about things like world poverty or famine or racism or whatever people are sensitive about these days, or the hot topic of whatever it is these days. And he goes on to explain that the native language is the mother tongue. He explains what the mother tongue means, which is your mother spoke a specific language, whether it's French or German or Chinese or whatever. And that is the native language, and that is the mother's tongue. So he's talking about that in the piece that I've seen in social media of where they're kind of trying to portray about that. So he goes on to explain that these other languages are spoken quite frequently within the households. So it should be no different for Punjabis as well. Personally, I don't understand why people are upset about what he's saying. Listening to the whole piece made me think, and then I kind of felt ashamed because I'm not that great at speaking Punjabi as I could be. Like I do this show and I do everything pretty much in English. I understand a lot of the language, but then a lot of keywords I end up missing, and a lot of people end up having to explain it to me and whatnot. But I mean, at least I'm trying. Like I'm trying, okay? But the point of all of this is, are people looking for something to be upset about? And if so, then they're definitely winning the battle, because almost anything anyone says these days is pretty much taken out of context. And bringing another side piece here, if anybody's seen the Netflix special with Bill Burr called Paper Tiger, that's his most recent one here, and he was freaking hilarious. So definitely encourage you to watch it. If you don't get offended by stuff, then don't watch it. I'm telling you in advance, right? He definitely hits home on one of the things here, because or it ties into what I'm trying to say here, because there's one specific part where he's telling a joke or attempting to start to tell a joke, and one of the audience members just yells out randomly to ask for permission. So that's part of the thing. You got to watch it. It's funny. I thought it was funny. If you get offended, then whatever. That's your call, whatever it is. But I'm gonna play some Gurdas Maan here. And of all songs that my daughter wants to play is Mitr Pyare Nu. It's sad as heck. I know it is, but that honestly, I don't understand why that's her favorite song right now. I told her it's a sad song. It makes me feel sad. She's like, Daddy, I want to listen to the sad song. I'm like, okay, fine. So the whole thing about, Gurdas Maan not really talking about important topics. Well, here's something that's very important. So here we go on the incredible livecast, Mitr Pyare Nu. Alright guys, don't forget to hit me up on all my social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Mixcloud, SoundCloud, and my email, theincrediblesing@hotmail.com. If you have any concerns, any comments or whatnot, let me know what your feedback is, because I actually got another comment on SoundCloud saying I misinterpreted what Same Beef was about. So I'm waiting to hear back from that follower about what I should be interpreting Same Beef to be about. So here we go with an old school track with O Jaan Meriya. Alright guys, it's time for the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode number 74. Guess what? It's happy anniversary to us. It's 13 years that me and my wife have been together. So we haven't been able to really celebrate yet. This past weekend, busy with birthdays. Next weekend, busy with birthdays. And during the weekdays, we're busy with work and my daughter's school and regular routine stuff. So we'll try to find some time to celebrate. But other than that, I hope you guys have had a great week and a great week coming up ahead here. I try to do the podcast weekly, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So I apologize if you follow me weekly, but definitely do it as much as I can here. So thank you guys so much for following. Keep the comments coming in. I love the feedback. Like I said, whether it's positive, negative, you think you agree with me, disagree with me, just let me know so I know what you're talking about and what you're feeling there. And always, as usual, stay positive, stay focused, and stay blessed. Peace out, guys.